Canada's hot housing market and whether it's heading for a crash is hotly debated in Canada, except it seems on the campaign trail. Canada's political leaders have little to say about whether Canada's housing market is headed for trouble or not. In another look at the issues in this year's federal election, BNN's Greg Bonnell looks at how Canada's political leaders see Canada's housing market.
Canada's red-hot housing sector has been a bright spot in an economy hit hard by low energy prices and lagging exports. But while soaring home prices and the fear of an eventual market crash have preoccupied homeowners and investors, Canada's opposition politicians have few answers. On the debate stage, Liberal leader Justin Trudeau said he was worried the rest of Canada's economy wasn't keeping pace with the housing sector.
We need to make sure that while housing prices rise, incomes are rising as well.
There could be a bubble created there, and we could be in for a terrible surprise.
The NDP's Tom Mulcair says Canada's housing market could be headed for trouble, but there's little in his party's platform to address that. Instead, he says he will increase home affordability by bringing in low-cost childcare and boosting the federal minimum wage.
If you want to stay working, you got to vote for us.
But for Stephen Harper's Conservatives, housing is a major plank in the party's platform.
Today I announced our plan to help 700,000 more Canadian families own their own home.
In this election ad, Stephen Harper promises to build on Canada's housing boom. He says he'll increase the amount first-time homebuyers can withdraw from their RRSPs for a down payment. And by 2017, Harper will bring in a new permanent home renovation tax credit that could save taxpayers about $1.5 billion per year. A former Bank of Canada governor wonders if the tax credit is the best way to stimulate the economy.
Then now would be the time to do it, not to do it 2 years out when he hopes, and I hope, and we all hope, that the economy will be operating at closer to capacity.
None of Canada's political parties are talking about ways to cool Canada's housing market or reduce Canadians' mounting mortgage debt. This despite warnings from groups like the International Monetary Fund and the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation that parts of Canada's housing sector are overheated and at risk of a sharp decline. That's not surprising, says Kevin O'Leary.
You have continued zero interest rates and mortgages under 3%. There's not going to be correction in housing.
With the housing sector continuing to build, it seems neither home buyers nor politicians are willing to make a move against the market. Greg Bonnell, BNN, Toronto.